Hello there, and welcome to the Outside Views weekly report on Northern Irish politics. The London loyal DUP is refusing to cooperate and pushing for change to the Northern Ireland Protocol. Sinn Féin wants to hold a referendum on reunification before the end of this decade. So 8 months after the regional election in Northern Ireland, there is still no prospect of forming a government in Belfast. In all probability, another deadline set by London did expire on Friday, by which the parties in the region had to come to an agreement. The reason for the blockade is the refusal of the London loyal Democratic Unionist Party, the DUP, to agree to a government under the nationalist Sinn Féin party. The political successor organisation to the Irish Republican Army, the IRA, became the strongest force in Northern Ireland for the first time in May 2022. Northern Ireland Secretary Chris Heaton-Harris is expected to push back the deadline again to give more time for a political solution. If no executive is formed today, I'm legally bound to hold new elections within the next 12 weeks, is what the minister tweeted. With the agreement, Northern Ireland remains part of the European single market, creating a de facto customs border with the island of Great Britain. The DUP is demanding that the agreement be revised or scrapped altogether. They fear for Northern Ireland's affiliation with the United Kingdom, but the thing is a smokescreen anyway. According to the 1998 peace agreement, the regional government in Belfast must be led jointly by the Nationalists and the Unionists. The DUP is hiding behind the protocol, is what pro-Irish Sinn Féin leader Michelle O'Neill said at a press conference in London. After the elections last May, her party became the strongest force in Parliament for the first time. She accused the DUP of blocking the formation of a government because they were not satisfied with their role as junior partner. If no government is formed, as I said, Heaton-Harris is legally obliged to announce a date for new elections within the next 6 weeks, and that started on Friday. Under current law, that would mean the election must be held no later than April 13th. That's 3 days after the 25th anniversary of the 1998 Good Friday Agreement that ended the 30-year conflict between pro-British Unionists and Irish nationalists, and that left thousands dead. And the UK government is expected to extend the deadline for forming a government again to delay possible new elections. This would give Britain and the EU more time to reach a successful conclusion in the negotiations on the Northern Ireland Protocol, but I think that's improbable. Participants are being sought in Northern Ireland to take part in the latest phase of a UK-wide study to investigate antiviral treatments for COVID-19. The panoramic study, run by the University of Oxford alongside the Northern Ireland Clinical Research Network, or NICRN, has been running across the UK since December 2021, aiming to find out if new antiviral medicines help to keep people with COVID-19 from needing to be admitted to hospital and help people to get better sooner. The study is open to adults over the age of 50 or those aged 18 to 49 with an underlying health condition that can increase the risk of developing severe COVID-19, who have received a positive COVID-19 test result and who are experiencing symptoms that started in the previous 5 days. Previously, the first stage of the panoramic study recruited over 25,000 participants across the UK, with over 1,000 participants from Northern Ireland. This made the study the fastest recruiting clinical trial ever in the UK and a novel initiative that has paved the path for how research can be conducted in primary care. The data from the trial is important to help understand how to make best use of antiviral medicines for the treatment of COVID-19. In this latest phase of the study, an additional antiviral, Paxlovid, is now being investigated. Recruitment to the Paxlovid arm initially began in England and has now sites open across the UK, including Northern Ireland. The Department for the Economy and the Crown Estate have agreed a statement of intent to express their commitment towards establishing offshore wind leasing for Northern Ireland. The statement of intent outlines the ways in which the DFE and the Crown Estate will work together to create the conditions for offshore wind leasing in the Northern Ireland marine area, and follows a period of close collaboration between the two organizations. The energy strategy for Northern Ireland establishes a commitment to diversify the renewable generation mix with an initial focus on offshore wind and marine renewables. The Energy Strategy Action Plan 2022 includes an action to develop an action plan to deliver 1 gigawatt of offshore wind from 2030. Over the course of 2022, DFE led the development of the draft Offshore Renewable Energy Action Plan, taking the first steps towards delivering on the commitments established in the energy strategy. A public consultation on the draft OREAP was launched on December 21st in 2022 and closes on March 16th. And DERA's Soil Nutrient Health Scheme, or SNHS, was opened by the then Minister Edwin Poots back in March 2022. The publicly funded scheme, which is worth up to £45 million and managed by AFBI, claims to create a unique baseline on soil nutrient status for Northern Ireland agricultural land and continues to gather momentum. Creating the baseline from the scheme will be a valuable data set for farmers to measure and manage their land to improve efficiency. Soil sampling has been continuing since November 2022 for farmers in Zone 1, which is comprised of County Down and parts of Counties Armagh and Antrim. With 95% uptake, the sampling contractor RPS is working intensively to cover the 151,000 fields registered for the season. Currently, it expects that 80,000 individual fields will have been sampled by the end of January. As such, there will still be fields with sampling pending when the closed period for slurry spreading ends on January 31st. This is due to a number of factors, including the unsuitable weather conditions for soil sampling encountered in December 2022. RPS is working hard to make up for the downtime and to maximize the number of fields that will be sampled during the closed period. In addition, during the next 3 to 4 weeks, RPS will prioritize those farm businesses with lowland and intensively managed fields, as these are more likely to receive nutrients soon after the closed period ends. Upland fields which do not in the main receive nutrients will be sampled after the beginning of March. The Department of Health published statistics relating to medical abortions and terminations of pregnancies in Northern Ireland, the HSC hospitals during 21 and 22. The statistical bulletin presents information on the number of medical abortions and terminations of pregnancy carried out in HSC hospitals in Northern Ireland during those years. The information release is published online. And there are some key points I want to mention today. There were 53 terminations of pregnancy in HSC hospitals in Northern Ireland during those years. This was 10 less than the previous year. However, this is still an increase from 2019-2020 and could be the result of changes in legislation passed in March 21. However, this number only relates to procedures carried out on hospital inpatients and day cases, and is not representative of all terminations of pregnancy notified to the Chief Medical Officer during 21 and 22. All of the 53 terminations of pregnancy during 21-22 were carried out on women normally resident in Northern Ireland. During 21-22, there were 36 terminations of pregnancy carried out on women aged 30 years and over, 13 terminations of pregnancy carried out on women aged 25 to 29, and 4 on women aged 24 and under. The Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs online system for submitting applications for a Nutrient Action Program derogation in 2023 and the submission of 2022 fertilization accounts for derogated farms is now open. The NAP derogation is vital to some Northern Ireland cattle farms with higher stocking rates. Subject to meeting certain nutrient management and environmental criteria, it enables farmers to better utilize the nutrients with grazing livestock manures and operate more efficiently at a higher stocking rate. Farmers are encouraged to check their farm nitrogen loading figures via the department's online services, DARA online services, and apply for derogation if necessary. Farmers who intend to apply for a derogation must prepare a fertilization plan for their holding by March 1st and keep it updated during the year. Farmers can submit their applications at DARA online services for 2023 applications and submissions of 2022 records. Applications and records must be submitted by March 1st, as I said. For non-derogated farms, records of 2022 organic manure exports must be submitted via DARA online services by January 31st. Failure to submit manure export derogation records on time could result in a penalty being applied to the basic payment. The Department for the Economy has launched a public appointments competition for a chair and 8 members of the Northern Ireland Skills Council, the NISC. The NISC is an advisory body which provides strategic advice to ministers of the Northern Ireland Executive and government departments on issues pertaining to the development and implementation of skills policy. Successful applicants will have a unique opportunity to contribute to the development of Northern Ireland's skills system, which will be central to delivering sustainable business growth and increasing social opportunity in a rapidly changing economy. The department is looking for dynamic and enthusiastic individuals with a track record of working across a broad network of stakeholders and applying evidence-based analysis to inspire transformative change. No specific academic qualifications are required for the post. However, the department wishes to appeal to people of all ages from a wide range of backgrounds and experience across the business, trade union, and the community and voluntary sectors. The department would particularly welcome applications from people with a disability and those from minority ethnic communities, as they are currently underrepresented on boards. The department is operating a guaranteed interview scheme in this competition for applicants with a disability. This is an open competition, which involves an application form and interview. The closing date for receipt of applications is noon on February 9th in 2023. Appointments are made on merit. So maybe some of my viewers here are eligible to take part and want to give it a try. And this concludes this week's report on Northern Irish politics. I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.